Is Kamala Harris destined to be Joe Biden's VP pick? Hey, everybody, I'm Chad Hasty, host of the Chad Hasty Show, which airs weekday mornings, 8:30 to 11 a.m. Central Time on News Talk 95.1 FM and 790 a.m. KFYO. Politico with an article out on Wednesday writing that basically Joe Biden, when he looks at Kamala Harris, thinks that she can do anything that she wants to do. She could be president one day, she could sit on the Supreme Court, and when asked if he would consider her for a possible VP slot, Biden said, well, of course I would. Asked if he had any hard feelings towards her. Remember, Kamala Harris had criticized Joe Biden, basically calling Joe Biden a racist back in I believe it was a June debate. Joe Biden said, quote, "I'm not good at keeping hard feelings." That before his staff whisked him away to another event. So Kamala Harris on the ticket with Joe Biden, it makes sense, and it's not a bad ticket necessarily, but, and there's a key factor here, Joe Biden actually has to win the nomination. I think that some of these folks who are dropping out, I think that one of the reasons why they're dropping out, I think they're being pressured to save Joe Biden. I think that Kamala Harris's votes, I think many of those votes are going to go to Joe Biden. I think some of the other lesser known candidates that have dropped out, those votes are going to go towards Joe Biden. And I think you'll start seeing endorsements towards Joe Biden as well, because I think that the Democrat establishment is freaked out over Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders. Elizabeth Warren, she's kind of dipped in the polls, but it looks like she's leveling off a little bit, maybe coming up, according to some latest morning consult polls that are out there. And Bernie Sanders isn't going anywhere either. And remember, Barack Obama it was reported about a week ago that Barack Obama had told other candidates that if he had to, he would speak out against a Bernie Sanders candidacy. So I think the Democrat establishment, they are hesitant on Joe Biden. I don't think they believe that Pete Buttigieg can get the job done. I don't think they want Elizabeth Warren, and they definitely don't want Bernie Sanders. But the voters, I think, they're not sold on Joe Biden. They're the Democrat voters, and I'm not one of them. I'm not a Democrat. But I can just tell from Democrats on social media, Democrats who I know, they're okay with Joe. They're fine with Joe, but they don't get excited about Joe Biden. And you put Joe Biden on a debate stage with Donald Trump, and I think Trump wipes the mat with the guy. Listen, if Joe Biden gets the nomination, I think a Kamala Harris VP nod is probably a pretty smart idea. I think there are probably better candidates out there for Joe Biden, but I could see why he would be very tempted to put Kamala Harris on the ticket. She would be a pretty good attack dog, I think, against Donald Trump. In fact, some of her strongest lines have been attacking Donald Trump and not attacking other Democrats. So I think it's definitely something to watch for, but Joe Biden's got to win the nomination, and I still think he's a ways off from doing that. Tune in to the Chad Hasty Show weekday mornings, 8:30 to 11 a.m. Central Time on News Talk 95.1 FM and 790 a.m. KFYO.